Level 1. The reader. You are 14 years old. You have been reading public bug reports on a website called HackerOne for 6 weeks. You do not understand most of the words. You read it anyway. Your mother called you down for dinner 11 minutes ago. You said 5 minutes. You have not moved. The feed is called Hacktivity. People post the bugs they found and how much they got paid. Tonight, a man in Argentina named Santiago is being paid $5,000 for finding something the engineers at a company you have heard of did not see. You read the report 3 times. You do not understand the part about IDOR. You Google IDOR. You spend 40 minutes on the Wikipedia page. You come back to the report. You still do not understand half of it. You read it again. Your mother calls a second time. You say 5 minutes. You have been saying 5 minutes for 41 minutes. The food is cold on the table. Your mother eats alone. She has been eating alone 3 times a week for a month, and you have not noticed. You will not notice for 9 years. You are not breaking anything. You are not stealing anything. You are reading. That is all you are doing. You are reading a website on the public internet, the way other kids read sports stats. Nobody knows you are doing this. Nobody would care if they did. You do not know yet that you are reading a map. You think you are reading entertainment. Level 2. First submission. You are 16 years old. You submit your first bug 8 months after you start practicing. An XSS on a small startup that has a public bounty program. You write a 12-page report. You include screenshots. You include a video proof of concept. You include suggested remediation. You hit submit at 1 in the morning. You refresh the page every 6 minutes. You refresh through breakfast the next morning. You refresh through school. You refresh through dinner.
What are
Your
you
father
looking at
asks
there, son?
if your homework is done.
Nothing.
You say yes.
Just checking
You have
something.
not done homework in 3 weeks. 4 days later, the reply comes. 1 sentence. N/A. Known issue. No explanation. No thank you. The report is closed. Your reputation does not change. You read the sentence 11 times. There is a hunter on Twitter named Gareth who posted last week that he ate cereal 3 days in a row because of his feelings about a duplicate. The post has 47,000 likes. You realize the entire industry runs on this specific kind of pain. You feel less alone and more alone at the same time. You submit 2 more bugs that month. 1 is duplicate. 1 is informative, no bounty. You read more Hacktivity. You read until your eyes hurt. You read until you fall asleep with the laptop on your chest. Your father comes in to turn off the lamp. You do not wake up. He looks at the screen. He does not understand what he is looking at. He turns it off too. You think this is failure. This is the first lesson the industry teaches you. It does not pay for effort. It pays for output. You have learned the feeling of being rejected. Now you have to learn the feeling of being seen. Level 3. First valid. You are 18 years old. You submit an IDOR on a messaging service. 14 hours later, an email. Subject line, triaged, severity medium, P3. 1 reply from the triager. 6 words. Nice find. Take another look at parameter X. You sit in your dorm room, and you read those 6 words 11 times. Somebody read what you wrote, and did not call it nothing. Somebody read what you wrote and pointed you at the next door. You go back. You look at parameter X. You spend 3 days on it. You find a way to chain the IDOR into a privilege escalation. You submit the chain. Severity gets upgraded to high, P2. Bounty, $2,400. The Trigger's handle is Maya. You check her LinkedIn. She is 22 years old. She works on a triage team out of Amsterdam. She has a profile picture where she is laughing at something off camera. You DM her, thank you. She replies, you'll find more. You read those 3 words more times than you read your acceptance letter to community college. You do not know that you have just met the person who will sit next to you for 12 years, or almost next to, always 1 wall away. Level 4. Consistent earner. You are 20 years old. $3,000 the first month you go full-time. $5,000 the 3rd month. $9,000 the 5th month. You drop out of community college. You do not tell your father. You tell him you are doing IT contract work, which is technically true and entirely a lie. You buy a Herman Miller chair, $1,200. It is the first thing you have ever bought that you do not feel guilty about, because for the first time the money came from work nobody is going to take back. The chair arrives. You sit in it. You hunt for 14 hours. You forget to eat. The chair is very comfortable. You start dating Maya in the spring. She flies in from Amsterdam for a conference. You meet her at a cafe in Brooklyn. She is shorter than you thought. She laughs the way she does in the picture. On the third date, she asks what you actually do and you tell her. She says she knows. She has been triaging your reports for 2 years. Level 5. Private program, regular. A Sunday in October. Your father comes into your room without knocking. You have a dashboard open. A 30-page report about an authentication bypass at a bank. Your father stands and looks at the screen for 14 seconds. He says, "Is this legal?" You say, "Yes. They pay me for it." He says, "Who is they?" You say the name of the bank. He knows the bank. He has banked there for 30 years. He is silent for 9 seconds. He says, "Do they know your real name?" You say, "Yes." He nods once. He says, "Good." He turns, he walks out. He does not bring it up at dinner. He does not bring it up the next day. He does not bring it up for 9 years. He tells the neighbor across the street that his son finds errors for a bank. Legal. The neighbor does not understand. The neighbor thinks you are an accountant. Your father lets him think that. It is easier than explaining what neither of you understand. You think this is independence. This is the moment you finally have a thing you cannot turn off either. You think you understand the work. You do not understand how the work eats the person doing it. You are 22 years old. Interlude. The dry spell. You are a private program regular now. You have a Brazilian hunter named NN0.X, who you have been DMing for 8 months. You two share recon methodology. You share lists of targets. You share frustrations. He sends you memes about burp suite crashes. You send him a meme about dupe streaks. You consider him a friend. You have never met him. On a Tuesday in June, you ask him about parameter encoding on a particular messaging service. You have a hunch. He says he has not thought about it. You believe him. 8 months later, on a night in February, you find the chain. You spend 11 days on it. You sleep less than 4 hours a night. Maya stops asking when you will come to bed. You eat protein bars in front of the second monitor. You do not shower for 3 days. By night 11, you have a 5-step remote code execution chain. You write a 47-page report. You submit it at 3:48 in the morning. You sleep for 9 hours, which is the most sleep you have had in 2 weeks. You wake up. You check your email. You see the response. Duplicate of report number 483921, private. You sit at your desk. You click the internal link they sent. You read the date the duplicate was submitted. 6 days before yours. You click the reporter's handle. N0XX. You scroll back through your DMs with him. 8 months of messages. You find the conversation about parameter encoding. June 4th. You wrote 3 paragraphs about the encoding hunch. He replied with a shrug emoji and the words, "Have not thought about it." 6 days before your report, he submitted the bug. 8 months after you handed him the blueprint, he submitted the bug. You sit at your desk, and you do not move for 47 minutes. You are not angry the way you should be angry. You are something worse. You are looking at the 8 months of messages and trying to figure out at what point he decided. Was it the next day? Was it 3 months in? Was it the second time you mentioned the encoding? You read every message looking for the moment he became the kind of person who would do this. You do not find a moment. He is the same person on every line. Friendly. Curious. A little tired. Just like you. Your hands start to shake somewhere in the 3rd hour. It is not the $80,000 you lost. It is something else. In this industry, the only person who can actually understand what you are doing is also the only person who can take it from you. There is no third option. The community is the threat. The threat is the community. You never DM another hunter about a live target again. You never collaborate. You go into a loneliness you do not have a name for. You do not tell Maya. You tell her you are tired. She believes you. You hate that she believes you. A monitor at 4 in the morning. The burp log has been empty for 6 hours. You have been refreshing the same endpoint. You refresh again. Empty. A cafe in Brooklyn. You open your laptop on a small table by the window. You stare at the screen. You cannot remember why you came to this cafe. You leave after 8 minutes without ordering. DEF Con 30, Las Vegas, the hallway outside the main ballroom. 4 hunters from the top 100 walk past you. You know all of their handles. You know what bugs they have shipped this year. You know the company logos in their slide decks. None of them know your face. You stand against the wall holding a cup of coffee that has gone cold and you do not move for an hour. Your bedroom in Amsterdam. Maya knocks on the door of the office at 2 a.m. She asks through the door if you have slept. You say yes. The burp log is empty. You have been staring at it for 9 hours. You think this is the end of the work. You do not know this is how the work begins to eat you. Level 6, l'invité. You are 25 years old. The email comes on a Wednesday. Subject line, invitation to H1, 702 Las Vegas. You have been invited to a live hacking event with the top 100 hunters in the world. Travel paid, hotel paid, 72 hours of hacking together in a ballroom at Caesar's Palace. You show Maya the email. She cries. She does not cry often. She cries because she remembers what you looked like at 20 when you thought you might be done before you started. She cries because she remembers what you looked like 6 months ago, in the dry spell, when you would not eat in front of her. She cries because she believes this means the worst is over. You do not cry. You are already mentally in the ballroom in Vegas. Vegas, 72 hours. You submit 4 bugs. Total payout, $7,000 in 1 week. You come home. You sleep for 14 hours. You wake up. You open your laptop within 11 minutes of opening your eyes. You do not remember if you have eaten since you left the airport. Maya cooks dinner. She asks if your parents can come over on the weekend. You say, next weekend you can. She says, you have said that 3 times. You do not remember the 3 times. Your father calls. You do not answer. You write a check to him. You do not send. The check is for $8,000. You will find the check in a drawer 2 years later, uncashed, after he has had a stroke. You think you are back. You are only going deeper in. Level 7. The Whale. You are 28 years old. You have been working on the same target for 11 days. It is a service inside a company whose name everyone reading this knows. You cannot say the name in the script, and you would not anyway. The company has 4,000 engineers. They have been building this service for 15 years. 7 attempts, each 8 to 10 hours. Each one fails for a different reason. By the end of day 11, you have not slept more than 3 hours a night. Maya has stopped asking what you ate. Your father has called 4 times. You have not called him back. Night 12, 3:47 in the morning. You are looking at a parameter encoding on an endpoint. Nobody has tested in 4 years. It is the kind of legacy thing that gets forgotten when engineers leave. You try a variation. No other hunter would try, because no other hunter would still be looking at this endpoint after 11 days. The server returns a response it should not return. Your hands do not move for 11 seconds. You spend the next 38 minutes chaining 7 steps. The last step returns a 200 OK with data you should not be able to see. Your fingers go cold. You have just looked at a system, 4,000 engineers, built over 15 years, and found a space they could not see. For 38 minutes, you are the only person on Earth who knows the space exists. The feeling is not joy. It is the feeling of becoming a kind of god nobody knows the name of. You submit the report. You sit at the dashboard for 73 minutes without moving. 9 days of triage. You do not sleep more than 4 hours any of those nights. Maya sleeps in the bed. You sit at the desk. She comes in at 3 a.m. on day 6 and stands in the doorway. She does not say anything. She watches you for a minute, and then she walks back to the bedroom and closes the door. You do not get up. Day 9. The email. Bounty. $245,000. CVE assignment included. Public disclosure. On a 90-day schedule. You read the email 3 times. You feel exactly the thing you felt at 17 when the first $2,400 bounty came in. Exactly the same. Not 1 cent more. You have worked 14 years to feel this. And it is nothing more than the first time. You start crying. You do not know why you are crying. You are not crying about the money. You are crying because Maya came out of the bedroom and asked if you were okay, and you did not have an answer. Level 8. The Lifer. You are 32 years old. You are in the top 50 global leaderboard on HackerOne. Lifetime earnings $1.8 million. Maya is 34. You have been married 6 years. You cannot turn off the work. Every cafe Wi-Fi, you note the captive portal flow. Every banking app on Maya's phone, you check the authentication. Every smart device, you check the DNS requests. You do not own a smart speaker. You do not have a doorbell camera. You do not have a single IoT device in the house. Maya understands why. She does not say anything about it. A Sunday in November. Your mother calls. You see the missed call. You do not call back. 2 hours later, Maya comes into the office. She is wearing the coat she wears outside, even though she is inside. She says, "Your father had a stroke. Your mother is at the hospital. We have to leave now." You say, 10 minutes. She does not move. She says, "It is not 10 minutes. You look up from the screen for the first time in 6 hours. You look at your wife. You see her clearly for the first time in maybe 6 months. She is 34 years old. She has a single gray hair at her left temple that you have never seen before. You do not know when the gray hair arrived. You do not know how long it has been there. You do not know if she has noticed it. You do not know if she has been hiding it. You do not know anything about her right now. You close the laptop. You go to the hospital. Your father lives. He comes home 11 days later. You sit at the foot of his bed. He says he is glad you came. You say, of course. You do not remember anything else you said to him in the hospital room. You remember the bug. You remember exactly where you left it. You remember the parameter you were about to test. You remember it for years. 2 years later, at dinner, Maya looks up from her plate. She asks, "Do you remember what we used to talk about?" You say, "What do you mean?" She says, "Before you only talked about bugs." You sit for 22 seconds. You do not remember. She nods. She takes the plates to the kitchen. She does not ask again. You are still in the top 50. You will always be in the top 50. The work is not something you do anymore. The work is something you are. On a Tuesday night in some city you do not know the name of, a 14-year-old girl opens Hacktivity for the first time. She finds a report from 6 years ago that was resolved without much fanfare. She does not understand most of the words. She reads it anyway. The hunter's handle on the report is yours. She Googles your handle. She finds an old HackerOne podcast interview from 2026. She listens to it. She does not understand 80% of what you are saying. She listens to the end anyway. Her mother calls her down for dinner. She says, 5 minutes. She does not move. The cycle continues. Everyone does.